Cool.
Alrighty. So first official community meeting in the community of two.
There's the community of two.
That's how it goes sometimes, but it's good because
it was a community of one not that long ago, so two is twice as much as one.
That's 100% growth is
100% growth.
pretty impressive. If we can keep this up, we'll have a massive community in no time.
Well, if you could just get each of you can dictate that your family uses this, so you could easily grow us to several more.
I'm gonna hold that back, and that way I can goose the numbers. You go from 1 to 2 to 4. I mean, that's the kind of growth attracts people to come in and check it out, right?
That's what we want to say.
Okay, well, I am going to got some stuff here that I want to go through, and I'm going to share the screen and kind of start with that. And then, so I want to review kind of what we did last week real quick. And then I've got a list of things that we can start chatting about and then arguing about.
Oh, perfect. I like the arguing portions of our meetings.
That's the funnest part. Okay. So you see my screen okay?
Yes.
I mean, this is just an awesome website. What can I say? It's fantastic. Did you notice the little update ribbon here?
I did. It's very nice. Latest updates.
That is updated. Every time we add a blog post, it will change.
Nice. Ooh. So, what in the world? Look at that. This is the future?
This is the future.
Wow.
This is what happens when you let developers who are not designers use AI to generate images for blog posts. You end up with this.
The future is a little bit dark, but that's okay.
Well, that's because she's working late. Look, there's no one else in the office. She likes to do that because it just gets everybody out, and she's got some quiet time for herself. And then when she finishes up, she's still downtown. She's going to go out to a show, go meet up with some friends, have some tapas. It's going to be a fantastic night, Larry.
Right.
This is
flying.
the beginning of a fantastic evening.
That's right. I forgot. That's what young people do.
And yeah, young people. Okay, so last week we actually got a lot of big things. I wanted to hit them real quick, and then we'll actually show them.
Yeah.
Agent profiles, so importing and exporting,
fantastic
which is
feature. I used it today.
Pretty darn cool. Inline artifact editing, which is so small but so darn awesome. I actually am very, very happy with that one.
Me too.
I'm a simple man.
Me too.
Folders for chat history, very interesting. Kind of snuck that one in. We upgraded the CLI. You can see that briefly. Multi-file support, which has got a fun little story. Thank you, Ron, for getting that in. You're welcome, me. And then anything worth mentioning on some of these things, the UI, the browser stuff?
No, nothing feature-wise, but mostly just taking the opportunity to clean up some front-end stuff. The front-end code is probably the least manicured code of all the app, mostly because it's not that complicated, and so not having to pay that much attention to it as the back-end code. But yeah, just continuing to clean up front-end code. The browser tool stuff is interesting because I think, to me, as I was on my walk earlier, thinking about like what's the killer feature for this app, I keep coming back to the browser tools because this is the thing I use every day, all the time. Go do research on this, go do this and that, and it goes to the browser tools. Combining either the in-browser navigation and then the back end, like fetching and stuff like that, together is like super cool. So I have Omnideck doing a daily routine where it uses itself to test its own tools. And then I talked about that in that blog post that I sent you that I don't think we posted yet, but
Not
Yeah,
yet, but that's going to be coming out. Like all of these browser tests, right?
all those browser tests. Yep, those are all being opened by Omnideck. It runs once a day. It
That's a
exercises.
lot, dude. There are a lot of tickets.
Yes, so it's doing a
Are
great
these
job.
pretty small?
Yeah, they're all pretty small, and I usually knock out a handful of them every day. So it runs all the tools against a bunch of different sites.
Mhm.
If it finds an issue, it goes to the code and figures out what the issue is and suggests a fix, and it opens up this issue. And then I'll usually use Codex or Claude and say, hey, pull this down and let's fix them. So this is just like a way to continuously, because, the World Wide Web, as they call it, is like
As they call it.
built in many different ways. And there's lots of different ways to build a website. And so this is like a way to continuously improve those tools.
So what's a good prompt to pull that up? Like go look at
I don't know, go to target.com and put something in the cart. Maybe that'll work. We might have to edit this part out, but that's one of the things.
It's all live.
That's one of the things it fixed the other day was like when you added something to a cart in Target, it was like it would not be able to see the background due to the way the modal detection was working.
Go to target.com and look up oranges.
Oranges. Aren't you glad I didn't say bananas?
Oh, dude. Yeah. Okay, so loading the browser skill.
Browser skills, baby.
It should pull up the browser, right?
Yeah, they do tab. Sometimes it takes
there
a
it
hot.
is. Hey, look, there it is.
Look at
And
that. It's like a human.
I can't take control right now.
No.
Although was trying to do a search earlier and it hit a CAPTCHA, and I was able to take control at that point.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and now it's giving me a helpful summary.
What if you don't mind me asking, what LLM provider and model are you on?
For my general right now, I'm using GLM.
Okay. Just
although
seemed to be kind of slow for some reason.
Open Router.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Although I have been working on a plan to refine my agents. So I want the general one to use like a more moderate, I don't know if I have it here, a more moderate LLM that's not quite so beefy.
Mm-hmm.
And then it can call out to sub agents to do the things it needs to do. So I'm trying to figure out ways to like basically save money, right?
Sense.
Like using any vision model will do this pretty well. Using GLM for this is, seems a bit overkill if you ask me.
Yeah, GLM. Well, GLM's great. I was just noticing.
Oh, it works great. Yeah, I know that it was small. So I can now take this over.
Yes.
And I can go click on this.
Yes.
And now I could add it to cart.
Yeah.
If I wanted to.
Browser takeover needs a bit of love. It was a pretty quick, fast feature, but I think it's pretty amazing. Like you said, when it gets to a point, if it gets stuck on a CAPTCHA or whatever, it will. You could take over, or the thing I like to do now is like go have it put everything in my cart, and then I take over, log in, check out, and then live my life
In the future,
where AI could drive your browser.
Right there. That's where you're at right now, Larry. Because that's what she's actually doing. She's actually, having Target. She's buying some groceries, and a drone's going to deliver them to her house, and then our house robot is going to put them in the fridge. That's
right. She's using the 3D hologram version of Omnideck.
Okay, so
yeah.
Create. So we'll look at editing. I'm going to mark down file with the info.
I see you like oranges.
Loading the skill. Oh, it's getting more. I didn't tell you to get more products. I just wanted what was already there, but okay.
It's very
Then
eager.
we can also go and see what it did, which is kind of cool.
Yes, that's very cool. Whoever created this.
Oh, and it went back on its own. So
what is it doing?
It went back to the search so that it could get more information.
Oh, it saved the full page content.
Yeah.
So it could just
I
go
guess
ahead.
I could have been more clear on what I wanted. That's the other thing, is you got to be.
Yes.
The more you tighten the scope, the better results you're going to get. Right.
That's the key. That's what Omnideck is all about. Is it's putting guardrails on AI.
Okay, so here's the file it created. I can copy it, I can download it, I can go full screen. And then if I go into edit, coolness Larry, and then I save it, and now it's there. So this is something that I've wanted for a while, not just with Omnideck, but with other tools as well, because sometimes, you know, I'll have it create something or I'll do something and it's pretty close, but not quite. And I'll want to make a change. So what I have to do then is I have to download the markdown. I have to edit it. I have to turn around and upload it again and say, okay, I've updated this file. Please now do X, Y, and Z. And sometimes it doesn't realize it, etc. But now the actual file it's looking at has changed. So it's always going to have the one that I want, which is great.
That's great.
At some point, having a revision history could be cool. That might be overkill, but that could be very cool.
Well, if you would use it, it would be a good feature.
So importing, but then we can also export. And so that can optionally carry the settings or not. So if I went in and I wanted to say, let's say at some point we were creating a library for the community, I wouldn't necessarily put the provider, but I could. So let me ask you this. If I put in the provider and the skills and you imported it, but you either didn't have one of the skills or you didn't have that provider, would it throw an error? Would that break?
Glad you asked, Ron. Actually, if you don't have the skills, it imports the skills. If you include the skills, it imports them. If you don't include the skills, you're just going to get the agent prompt. And if you choose provider and model, you get that, but it will have no skills attached to it. Actually, I didn't test what happens if you export and import. Like if you exported a provider that I didn't have, what would happen? I'm actually not sure. I didn't think to test that.
You got to that's why I'm here. I break things.
That's an open question to try out.
I like to break things.
Most likely it'll break something.
So here is another thing that we did. Hold on one sec. I can do this. I'm actually not sure. Let me stop presenting for 1 second before I go open my file browser, because there could be things there that I don't want or can't put in out into the world, because sometimes, okay, there's like work things and there's other things, and where are we? Here we go. That's not okay. So I'll just do it this way. You have to trust me that I didn't do anything other than click the button. So I clicked the button to add attachments, and for a while you could only add one at a time, and you can only have one, which I found annoying. And so I created a PR that would let you add more than one. I don't even know if there's a limit. There should be. Interesting thing about that is that I didn't have to do anything on the back end, because you already had it set up to support multiple files. So it was already ready to go, which was, going back to your blog post about building things that you didn't need yet. That was an example of building something that you weren't even using, but it was there when we needed it. So that was cool. And then you went through and came back and cleaned it up. You did something with like image previews and something else, right?
Yeah, I made the preview cards be consistent. So if you if you attach an image and a file, the preview card looks consistent instead of one was using a different preview.
Yeah.
And also the file names, if they get really long, it truncates them in a special way. And yeah, I think that was about it. Just clean it up,
Close these tabs.
Here's my superior user experience, UX skills.
Okay.
To,
okay, getting a little full there. Let's see. So agent profile, import and export, inline artifact editing for the win. That was awesome. That made me very happy.
That's a good one. I like it.
And then folders. So I did add some folders.
Okay.
And you can move things into folders, which is pretty cool.
Yes, I was sick and tired of not having folders, so I gave myself folders.
There you go. That is a way to organize. You know what's next, don't you?
Tags?
Well, possibly, but I was going to say drag and drop.
Drag and drop, yeah. I also like that you can now archive, because even though we don't do anything right now with like your old conversations, I wanted to be able to maintain them, because then I could eventually do something where it goes back and does some kind of memory stuff on old conversations. So it's kind of a future looking thing again. Let you get them out of your regular day-to-day stuff.
But your archive gives you a little thing that tells you how many.
Yes.
These guys do not.
I know. I kind of did that on purpose, because I kind of was like, why do I need that number? But we can talk about adding it back. It's easy.
I mean, I don't know that we necessarily need the number. Because that the number suggests to me that that's like something new.
Yeah.
Maybe it is. Like if I refresh, does it go away? No, it stays.
No.
Yeah, I don't think we necessarily need it, but that's okay.
We'll figure it out. But you can also change the folders, icons. I don't know if you noticed that.
I did not.
The three thingies.
Oh.
Right now it's just a fixed list, but we can probably make it better in the future. But it's nice.
I mean, just make it emoticons.
Yeah,
emoji.
Could do that. Could let you do an emoji. It kind of look goofy.
Or give you like an option.
Yeah.
Like you could have a tab for
yeah.
emoji, a tab for.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
But it's a start, of organizing things, which I think is nice.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. That was good.
Yeah. Like to keep things hidden, discover them.
So the other thing was we made changes to the website, which we all already know about. And then I also made some updates to the command line tool, particularly the dashboard. So it's still not exactly how I want, but it's okay. I wanted it to be a little bit more visual on what we had here, because the idea people are probably going to have at least a couple of instances. They probably should. And then when you open it, that's where you get like, this was on a totally separate page, but now it's here.
Yes.
And I also spent some time working, and I finally got the logs the way that I wanted them, so that it preserves your little boxes and stuff.
Yes. I like the boxes. They're cute.
Yeah. And I like how it will sometimes put like little emojis in. That's cute. The only problem is that I lost, and I need to re-add the ability to cut and paste, or to copy, I should say, the logs. Because we had a little tool, you could just do like C or something like that, and it would copy the last like 100, 150 lines, so that you didn't have to go through and you can't select it either. So that's annoying. So that needs to come back. The other thing this is an interesting problem. So the idea with these lines is they're like bar graphs, right? So over time you can see it going up and down.
Yeah.
Problem is it doesn't change much. Like, I mean, the CPU is so low.
Right.
And the memory usage too. Like even on this one, I think it was this one. Where is it? Yeah, I actually dropped the RAM down to 4 on my laptop. I was testing a demo one with the RAM set at 2 gigabytes, just because I want to see, like, it's just too darn efficient.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tell me a joke that my 12-year-old. No. That could go sideways. Love. And then, yeah. Oh wait, it just immediately did it.
You know, and I mean, this checks out because it's not doing anything. That's, you know, it's basically calling
no
LLMs.
tools needed. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's basically IO bound, right? But the thing that would spin up more resources is A, having it write a program and run it, or B, having it open some browsers, because each browser tab is its own, you know, separate tab. So that could spin up some memory usage.
Or a Whole Foods website and search for oranges.
Oh, okay.
Because we're fancy like that, Lair.
That's right. We'll get to compare the price between Target and Whole Foods. You can write a little script.
Now you see we got a little bit of a spike, just a little bump up. Okay.
Oh, look at that. Okay.
More.
Memories are rising.
But this is the problem I'm saying. Like, it's just not. And we haven't even really optimized the container as much as we could.
No.
Like, I think we could make the container even smaller and more efficient.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So we're not using anywhere near. I keep wondering. So this is that other thing we were talking about, right? Like, I've got this instance with 4 gigs of RAM. This one has 6 gigs of RAM. It's usually, now it has less memory than it did when I started. It's usually so far down the list in terms of how much memory it's using that I feel like I'm kind of wasting. So on the one hand, I would love to be able to go in and say, oh, let's keep it really small. Like, let's just get down to, like, you can do 90-something% of what you want on 2 gigs. And you can change, like, I could change it here. And then it would restart the container and it would have, you know, pure resources. And, you know, that's how I change it. But the problem that I think we have is, if you only got 2 gigs of RAM, currently the system doesn't know what its limits are necessarily. Like, if it's spinning up sub-agents or it is opening multiple browser tabs, it's not going to say, oh, I've only got enough memory for 3 browser tabs or for 2 agents, so I better not do more than that. And I feel like that's something that we should consider doing, you know?
Yeah. Does it? It doesn't reserve the memory, does it? I don't know how this actually works.
On Podman?
Yeah, it doesn't, like, steal the memory, like, from the host, right? Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Like cooperative or something. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely an area for improvement. But I also think that, like, most of the things that Omnideck does aren't really going to be memory heavy, because it doesn't, like, do a bunch of stuff in memory. It just, you know what I mean? It's just like running some code. And then, I don't know. You could tell it to try and steal a bunch of memory and see what happens. It would definitely try.
Yes, there's a reason it's contained.
Unfortunately, it's in a container, so it will not blow up your computer.
Let's see what Omnideck says. It does not reserve. Okay, that's good. When you set the memory limit, it doesn't pre-allocate a reserve.
Nice.
It just it's a speed limit. So that actually makes me feel a little better.
Yes.
But by the same token, if I've got stuff running, or I'm memory constrained, like if I've only got 8 gigs on my system, I've got an older system or something, or I've got 16 gigs, but I'm using it for work, and Chrome is like stupid hungry, then I want to make sure it can't go more than a small amount, right?
Yeah.
So I just feel like, especially as we start talking about, the capacity for us to spin up multiple and run them in parallel, which I'm basically doing. I have a demo instance and I have my regular instance, and sometimes I don't have a work one just because I haven't tried to get this approved through work. I probably will pretty soon, and I don't think it'll be a problem. But I'm just trying to think about like what other people are going to run into,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, we could definitely spend some time on it at some point if it starts to become an issue. I think it's pretty low risk though. Like I said, even every browser it spins up in a new tab, it closes them eventually.
Yeah, overcommit risk. And there is swap too. So like it is something to think about. I'm just thinking about if the container has bounds, right? It is resource constrained, even if it typically doesn't hit those constraints.
Right.
Then I want to be clear on what kinds of things, on making sure that it's going to be able to operate well. Like if I don't think we had any here, but if you have multiple agents, spin up 3 agents.
Tell them to do something on the web. Let's look at that memory.
To each look at a...
Let's get the price of oranges across 3 websites or whatever.
Okay, at the price of oranges, one on HEB.com.
Okay. Nice.
One on
Texas Throwback or Texas
Callout.com, and one on Safeway. Still a thing? I'll do Hannaford. I'll do a local.
Oh, okay. There you go. Get a Texas, a local, and I guess Albertsons nationwide. I don't know.
And where do we go? Oh, there it is. I got to cycle all the way back through. There we go. Cool. Now it's going to spin up multiple agents.
It's really working on it.
It's doing its thing. But yeah, that's the one thing that I keep coming back to is this idea. I think so I told you I was talking to somebody the other day, and we can actually see each of these agents and what they're doing, which is pretty cool, right? Here they're all doing their thing, and I can see the browser for each one, which is pretty darn rad.
And they're all on Whole Foods. That was weird.
What's that?
Never mind. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
So but I was telling you about that guy I was talking to, and he has 20 agents, which is kind of silly.
Yes.
I think that's my opinion. And he's running them like in parallel all day long. I don't know what he's using for this, but he's, OpenClaw, NanoClaw, something custom, something, whatever. And he's bouncing back and forth between them. But I was thinking about like this idea of having these different instances. Look, we've only hit 1.5 gigs.
There you go. That's what I wanted to see because they each have a browser open now. And now when they all finish, it should go down because it should close all those browsers as each agent wraps up its work.
And it is cool because you can see how that 15K, that's tokens or that's context.
Tokens. Well, yeah, it's token size. It's content. Yeah. It's current context size. So it's used at 15K out of 1 million, and it's on iteration 9.
Yeah, so you can see what's going on, which is pretty cool.
There's an annoying bug there, though. But
it's bouncing. You mean
that thinking bouncing is driving me nuts. We're gonna have to create an issue and fix that immediately.
Why don't you go create an issue right now? See, that's how I make things better.
But this is good. Yeah, only 1.5 gigs. That seems.
I mean, it hasn't gone over that. So if I kept it at 2 gigs, I think I'm going to move my demo down to 2 gigs and see if I might even move it down to like 1.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Actually, that'd be interesting.
So the thing that I'm thinking about is like, I know at work we're looking at how we use AI, in different departments. Different departments have different needs, right? Marketing does something, sales does something, support, engineering, legal, HR, everybody has their different workflows. And so this idea of, number one, having agents specifically tuned, like, so for marketing, for example, having an agent that is an editor, an agent that is a technical SME. So its whole job is just to take whatever you give it and validate, is this true or not, and try to find the flaws. Like, it's not trying to be sycophantic, it's not trying to hallucinate, it's legitimately trying to, cite the data and make sure it's there.
Right.
Having one that is specifically tied to our branding guidelines, making sure that the content says things the right way and in the right voice, and et cetera, et cetera. And that doesn't even touch on things like social or, event management or any of the other things we do.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking about, if I had an instance that was just for marketing at work, and I create these agents and I can import and export them so I can share them with other people on my team. So now we're all using the same agents. Then I could have a workflow. I mean, I could do it manually, but I could have a workflow that would go through, and I could put a blog post that I write in one side. And first it goes to the fact checker, right? Mm-hmm. And then if it sees any errors, it stops and it alerts me. If it can fix them or it thinks it's good, then it moves on to the editor. And then the editor moves on to the branding guidelines. And then the branding guidelines moves on to the final summary reviewer. Like, I'm thinking about how we can do those types of things. I'm just trying to figure out if we have the right entities.
I think you do. Well, so, depending on what you can connect this thing to, one way I would do that, just thinking about it right now, is, well, many ways, but one way could be if you could connect it, for example, to your Google Workspace.
Yeah.
Right. You could have them collaboratively work on a document. So you could set up a routine, right? We have the automated routines right now, and you could give each one, a routine can be set up to where one task depends on another. So essentially they would be working in a sequence, and you just tell them you're going to collaboratively work on this document together. The first one would do its work in the document. The second one would go do its work in the document, maybe make comments or whatever, however you instruct it.
I mean, I could also have an orchestrator agent who's instructed to walk through the workflow.
Yes.
And to stop if there's any problems and alert me.
That's true.
And then there's others, because that's the other thing we were talking about is, we have these agents, and I think I could see a world where people have like dozens of these.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily want dozens of things listed in the drop down here. Right.
Yeah.
And so I could see a place where we have a few agents, like maybe even just the general agent and just the assistant is all you start with, right? Maybe research, but
yeah.
And then they call sub agents,
yeah,
based on what they need. Like,
that'd be cool. You could do that too. That's the cool thing about this, is you can kind of build your workflow however you like to do it, or experiment with different ways, right? Like, I'm constantly experimenting with different ways to get agents to do what I want them to do. Like the thing with the Slack integration, where I tell it,
wow, it is going way off on this, man. Look at this.
Going nuts. If you do hit stop on the main page, it'll stop all the sub agents too, if you want to.
I'm just curious to see what happens. I guess I am just burning tokens, so
yeah. If you're not on an Olama plan or a $20 a month, you're crushing tokens right now.
I know. Okay, so.
But you're going to know a lot about orange prices, so it was worth the $20 that you just spent, probably. Oh yeah. Oh boy, this thing was going nuts.
It's just, I think, and that's the other thing too. I think if you have a really powerful model, using it for simple stuff like this is going to waste money, because it's going to come up with all kinds of great ideas it can do.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, dude, I just wanted you to do the one thing. I need somebody dumb. I need a less intelligent model to do the simpler things that I want.
Yeah,
That's
you need guardrails. Yeah, there was this paper that I was looking at about like basically multi-agents orchestrating each other. It's something, I forget what it is exactly, but something stuck out to me as like, you got to give them an interface where it makes them be very explicit about what they need each other to do. And currently the interface between agent to agent here is very open-ended. So something
it's
that
just
I'm
whatever you put in the
into.
prompt, right?
Well, the agent itself, like if you go back to that conversation, you can see if you go to the agents tab, the instructions right there. Yeah, go to any sub agent and then expand instructions. The instructions is literally what the boss agent told this agent to do. This is like its literal prompt.
Collect as many orange products as you can find.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, no wonder.
So you need to tell
what
it.
I wanted at all.
You got to give it guardrails, like the whole thing. Like you as a person and Omnideck as a harness workbench is like all about guardrails, right? Like the one end of the spectrum is you give it full access to a container and it knows, because of its training, it knows a lot about like, well, I know how to like use Linux commands, so I can do everything that way, right?
Right.
But that sort of doesn't really work. Because it'll make a lot of mistakes. So you start to like build all these tools, like file system tools, read a page, grep, but it's done a certain way. And then it gives it like the guardrails and the feedback, like that makes it just work better, basically.
That would be these skills.
Skills is helpful, but also the tool. Yeah, I mean, skills is helpful. Tools are also like kind of a good way to do it. Like the tools themselves, like provide feedback and redirect it. Like for example, in the agent loop here, you've seen this happen before, right? Like it's not a tool, but there's a hook that as it's running through its little thought process, if it finds out it's doing the same thing over and over and over again, it basically says, hey, stop and try a different path, right? So that's an example of a agent harness. That's, yeah, exactly. If you didn't have that, the agent would just go off and do whatever the hell it wanted to do. So your harness has like the structure built in.
Yeah.
But, I'm explaining it well, but this is
that makes total sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So
okay, so we've gone through these things. I'm just looking, we're just kind of geeking out on this stuff. Memory's even lower now than it was from when we started. We started and it was like around 800. Then we did some stuff, it dropped to 750. Then we opened up 3 sub agents with browsers. It spiked to 1.5, and now it's back down under 700.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool to be able to see a high water mark in this chart. Feature request to you.
Oh, dude. Okay.
Wouldn't that be cool? High water mark.
I mean, it would be, although I would probably want that to have like a trailing time, like high water mark in the last 30 minutes.
That's fair.
Would be.
But this is two things, because I was just thinking about them. Back to sub like agents and what you're talking about, like hiding some of them just because they're like sub agents. I was thinking about this concept of like agent teams, where you like can build agents, but they're all like part of a team. You somehow like collect a team of agents, and you can like give them roles and responsibilities.
Collective.
Yeah, and then they can only call, because right now you can choose to have an agent be able to spawn sub agents or not, but you can't say you can spawn these sub agents. It can spawn any sub agent. So it'd be kind of interesting to have collections of agents that can work together. That was point one. And the other point, which is completely unrelated, was it would be very cool. I was thinking about this. It would be neat if we could internally store, not externally, not sending it to anybody, but like within the app itself, have like some telemetry or metrics basically around token usage, and be able to, you can go look at a token usage report, and you could say, okay, I spent 1,000 tokens on this model, 1,000 tokens on this model. These cost me X, these cost me Y. These were completely free because I used a local model. That'd be pretty rad.
So this was one of the items on the topic list I wanted to bring up tonight. I just ran across this, so we should, grain of salt. It's a tool. It's based in Python that some dude from Netflix created, and basically what it does is you pass your context through this, and it compresses it. But it does. It's got a couple of different things it can do. So it can do basic compression based off of like it's just text, right? But it will go through and remove duplicate things. So I saw an example where somebody was like sending it a huge list from log files looking for an error, and this just basically stripped out all the log files that were the same or very similar.
That's cool.
Which saved like 98%, like some ridiculous number, right? And that stuff adds up. And I don't know the details on this yet, but apparently it also has an optional, I think it's a small language model that he trained himself that will smartly tie things down. This is cool. Headroom Learn, mines failed sessions, writes corrections. So that could be kind of cool, but it runs just on your local CPU. So that's kind of that direction that you're looking for. So it could be something interesting to put in as an optional piece that you could turn on, because we were talking about that. Like we were looking at, what is it, token sip, and I saw lean context. Oh, the other thing is it includes a hash with every time it compresses. And that way, if the AI feels like it needs more or doesn't want the compressed, it can send back the hash and get the full amount.
That's cool.
So you're not destructive.
Right. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. And
like that.
I know we try not to, excuse me, be overly reliant on other people's tools, but something like this could be powerful.
Yeah. What's the if the license is right, I'll just point my, you could just like basically take what you need out of it.
It is what, Apache 2, just like us.
That means you can do anything, right?
Yeah, you just protects against trademark infringement. But yeah, it's pretty darn open. But I think it has a So it has a model. And apparently it can trim the model outputs as well. Don't know how it does that. Tells it to be terse, don't restate context.
Interesting. Yeah.
Things like that.
Does put out a lot of junk.
Which is the kind of thing that we can optionally do.
I've noticed that like GLM, DeepSeek, like don't do that. Like they're pretty good, like really good, but they're like they're pretty terse. Like Claude is the only one that's like really bananas on the way it speaks.
Okay, so this is the optional model that is trained. 600 megs for the regular one, 279 megs for the small, and I'm pretty sure it can just run on a CPU. Yeah. Based on content density, it decides what to do. So original and then compressed. Investigating memory leak, traced event listener registration website. I mean, yeah, that works.
Yes, that's also just, well, I mean, if you're seeing that, it's also nicer actually to work with something that's less verbose. I find very verbose models to be just more brain time consuming.
Yeah.
So that's just a better user experience too. That's interesting.
So I've got it on the list. I don't want to lose it. Another thing to bring up is what was it? It was like Google Wiki AI spec.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about this. Yeah. So Google has this spec. This, I don't know if this was it or not, because they had something. Google Code, Wiki, but it was just the Google spec for Wiki style guide. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, open knowledge format. That was it.
Interesting.
So, see if I can just find it. Open knowledge format. I know it's in GitHub. Come on, man.
We need a logo like Hermes.
Yes, we do need a logo.
I think people really connect with that.
Style guides. Well, regardless, it is basically it's have you seen the was it Carpathy Wiki gist that everyone was talking about? So
I've heard about it, yeah.
I've got some people internally are basically they're using Obsidian and I've actually got a prompt I've used this for on Omnideck. I made my own version. Basically going through and saying, okay, look through the source code and build a wiki with this format and structure. And the downside of doing an Obsidian style wiki is that it's just straight node to node. And so an AI agent, if it doesn't want to read everything, it really just has to rely on what the name of the file is.
Yes.
But in this one, if you, let me see if I can find, they've got samples here. Oh, I guess they don't have them all in, which kind of makes sense, I guess. Samples. So basically, I don't know where it is in here. You might have to generate it yourself. So basically what it does is, one more. Okay. So it creates an index, which tells you the stuff that you have, right? You get data sets and tables. You go look in tables, there's another index, which tells you what the files in this folder are. So this index is not something that Obsidian does. And if you open this inside Obsidian, you're going to see a bunch of index.md files floating around everywhere. And Obsidian doesn't like that. Apparently there's a viewer or something that they created, metadata as code, I think, which will kind of show you a visualization. But the point is that by having these index files, now all AI has to do is look at this 434 byte file, and then it knows, and it could look at all of them, like it could look at a bunch of them, and it knows if it needs to dig in or not before it gets into the full data. So this goes back to that idea of like building a knowledge base, having that second brain built into Omnideck so that as I'm researching oranges, I can add that information and I can say, hey, update my second brain with everything you're learning about oranges.
Yeah.
Or I can have like the research agent make the decision and say, if there's something here that's worth saving, put it in this spec and save it.
Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah. You should try getting Omnideck to build that for you. A. And B, you shouldn't maybe do this on camera because I don't know what you have saved in your memory, but you have looked at the memory tab, right?
That's why I have a demo. so
Oh, you
I
have no
can.
memories.
I have no memories.
Oh, you should remember. You should tell it to remember something for you. Remember your name is Ron, and you like origins.
Remember that I want to investigate AI for an Omnideck feature.
See what it does.
Calling remember.
Oh, I'll always know.
Hey, look at that.
Also hide it in case you don't want to expose it to other people.
Oh, it's pretty handy. So then if I go in and say, what was I trying to remember?
Boom, roasted. Did you? Well, I don't know. Never mind. I could go on and on forever, but I did to the point you were just making. I think it's a good idea, and I did ask my Omnideck. Okay, well, so I use Omnideck to write code for Omnideck, obviously, and I was inspired by these discussions we've had, and also some people at work have mentioned these things where it's inefficient for it to always have to read the repo over and over again, which totally makes sense. And so they do various things to like, destructure the repo into the key things that it can use to like then fan out and figure out what it needs to do. So I just asked Omnideck to like create a system to do that, and it came up with the format it wanted to use. I mean, obviously this was GLM, right? So Omnideck uses a model, but anyway, the point is, like I said, I think we should do this format, and I'll write this script that should run periodically that parses the whole repo and basically, pulls out all the it creates structure, says, okay, each package has a comment in it. So I can like have that as a top level thing where I know what each package does. And then it pulls out all the symbols that it thinks is important into this, just a text document. And then it wrote itself a little CLI tool that it can execute to be able to search that database it created. And then I was like, now write up a skill on how to use that. So I wrote up a skill and I added it to its skills because I have like an Omnideck coding agent, right? So now whenever I ask it to do something, it can refer to this database first. Then it uses that to know what files to go investigate deeper. So I think it's, having something like that is very interesting. Having Omnideck build it for you is also very cool.
So I think, first of all, I think that we have to find a balance between, adopting and using wider standards.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure.
And also, everyone's different, letting them customize. So I would love to see a short video of someone doing something like that. That would be very cool. Or showing it off would be cool too.
Yeah. Sure.
The other half of it though, so the thing I like about the wiki and the markdowns is that's human accessible, which is helpful.
Yes.
And you can use that with a visual tool to kind of display the knowledge graph and all that. But I think if you combine it with something like ChromaDB, then you have, which it sounds like it's kind of what you did. You have a database. Then basically, instead of it having to go and read the markdown files, it just does a semantic search. And then it can then from that find the specific markdown files it needs, and from that find the specific whatever, the links to websites, the links to articles, the links to files that it wants to read deeper. So I feel like ChromaDB or something like it would be the next step up. Right. Being like, this is the AI memory, is ChromaDB.
Sure. Yeah. No, I agree. Like
wiki is human.
I think I guess my point is we continue to build features into Omnideck that will be good for people to use or make the agent be more optimal or whatever. And these become first-class features, but also
people can build their own.
My point is that you shouldn't be afraid just to ask Omnideck to do something.
Yeah.
And it will like figure out a way to do it most of the time. And it might not be perfect, or like it might not be like first class built into the app itself, but like it will like do things. Embracing the embracing the agentness of things is like, I think it's a mindset. You know what I mean?
Well,
it's like,
and
just ask it to do something and see what it does.
it is a mindset. And in fact, if you, what was it? AI Studio. I don't think I want to go to that in this browser, but that's actually how Google's AI Studio works.
Interesting.
When you want to go build a custom app in AI Studio,
yeah.
It's basically a big prompt that says, tell me what you want to build and I'll build it.
Yep.
I think that's smart. And I think that kind of goes into what we were talking about with, where is my discussion item on custom apps? I actually did some research on that.
Yep.
And, oh, well, I had Omnideck do some research on like what it is and how it works. I do still think for a first-class citizen, custom apps should have a pretty tightly defined tech stack, such that you remove a lot of the variability, and you know what you're going to, instead of building anything in the universe. If you build a custom app, it builds it in one way with the same tech stack every time, and then we can make sure that it's optimized to build those. But if you're like, oh, well, you know, I don't want it in TypeScript, I want it in Python. Okay, it'll do that, right? But if you go in and say, like, I want to create this thing, like I was doing something in the sites folder, and I asked Claude to do something, and it did a shell script, which is fine. And then like the next day I went in and asked it to, one thing was for tags and one was for adding the blog post, the latest blog post. And so for doing the tags, it made a Python script. Now that isn't necessarily a problem. And it might actually have been the best choice for the task that it was being asked to do. But now we start to have inconsistency. Now we have like, if you're, I would rather it be the same. I would rather whatever I do, if I'm going to do shell scripts, then they're all shell scripts. If I'm going to do Python scripts, they're all Python scripts. If I'm going to do whatever, they're all whatever. And so if we don't have guardrails, people end up all over the damn place.
Yeah. I get it.
One thing on the custom apps I was talking to Brooke about, and I just want to, I know I mentioned this in chat the other day, but I want to plant the seed. Like if I come in here now, right, it brings me into a blank starting conversation, which makes total sense, right? What would be cool is if I had a custom app and I could mark that as being, or I could have a chat. I could mark that as being my home screen. So boom, I always show up and it's this every single time, right? Like, and so then if this was, you know, it's interactive, so I can do the things. And if it's gone and it's run the routines, here's a list of your email. Here are the things you're doing today. Here are your reminders. Like you know, whatever, like I would create that custom app. I want that to be where I start. So something to think about as we are moving forward, right?
Makes sense. I like that.
I
like that a lot.
I'm not going to go further with this because, let's say, hi, Ron. Oh, how come I didn't do it?
Where'd you do it? Oh, way down there.
Oh, the checklist is live. Okay, I was looking in the wrong place. Here, right here. So now, when I go look at any of these artifacts, it still says hi, Ron, because I changed it on disk. That's awesome. It's the little things that make me happy. I'm a simple man.
Open that in conversation. I like this feature. You don't like? Oh, that one, yeah.
Boom.
Isn't that a good feature?
That is a great feature.
I mean, it's the little things that just make your life easier. That's what I like
now
to
we're
build.
right here.
I like just to have things.
Now we're right here. What if I do this?
I don't know that it'll. Yeah, it's not.
It would need some JavaScript to do that.
Correct.
It doesn't currently have that.
I don't, and I'm not sure it's capable of doing it. Now you can ask the agent to go check it off for you, and it will show up live. If you
Yeah,
say,
'cause then it would
"Hey,
have to somehow save it.
well, it's the agent will save it. Go ask it. Say, cross off the whatever one you want. I don't care." I won't tell you the magic that's behind this, but you know.
Yeah, okay, but here's the thing. That's now costing me money.
I don't know why it's going from
And
the checklist, but that's okay.
seems a bit OP. I mean, I get what you're saying. Yes. We're still early days and
Sure.
the whole world of AI, but I'm thinking about how boom, there it is, and it did it.
But it is magic. And sometimes magic is fun to watch. You know, you go to a magic show, you're like, you just saw that person in half. Like, I don't want to know how it works. I just want to see the magic. But I agree. Now, that's where custom apps would come in, right? Because right now there's no real good way to have the front end be able to call back end endpoints.
Yeah.
It can be done. You can ask Omnideck to do it, and it will make it work. Trust me, because I've done it a bunch. But it's not like Rails. There's no Rails there for it. Like, there's no tools for it, so it's not going to like do it the same way every time, right? Anyway, get yourself in a position where it's doing weird stuff, but that's cool too because it's in a container. You just hopefully, you know, we need to figure out a way to make it easier for people to back up their content.
Got to help protect people from getting hurt. And look, it's got agents.
It's got agents. Concierge.
This was a good call to make this little starting place. Okay, so I've got one more thing. Actually, I've got a lot more things on the list, but I'm only going to mention one more. And that is the code flow analysis report.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a chance to see it yet?
I glanced.
Okay.
I glanced. At least something. I gave it a glance.
It found a lot. It found some possible security issues. It found some unused code. It thinks it's unused. It found some duplicate code. It thinks is duplicate. So I'm not trusting this thing 100%, but it looks like a pretty decent punch list of like 10 or 12 things that we should look at. Yeah. So maybe we could have Omnideck go through, check each one, see if it's valid, and then create an issue or something.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
I was going to do that, but then I was like, well, that's starting to step on your toes. And
I have the $20 a month Olama subscription. So if you want me to do it with my free tokens, I can.
Free token. I need to get my local Olama set up again.
Yeah.
Properly.
Olama's
so it can work with a container, because I'm thinking I could use that for my general agent. And then it's free. And then it can phone home if it needs something more powerful. It can call out to do that when it needs to.
Yeah, I was using GPT OSS yesterday, just experimenting with like, how much can I get it to do on my own hardware? Because it's fairly fast. It's definitely nowhere near like using a GLM, you know. Like once you've used a GLM or a DeepSeek or whatever, you're like, oh, okay, GPT OSS, nice try. But it's not bad. You could get it to do stuff. So I'm trying to figure out like what, you know, we know for a fact like GLM 3.5, like 4 billion or whatever, amazing for image. You can point it at an image. It's going to like know what's in that image, extract text. It's like really good. And you can run that easy on your own hardware. So like trying to find like, that's what I have for my image tool. Like it's amazing. So like trying to find like the smallest possible model that can do X, Y, and Z really well is like something that like I have a deep desire to do for some reason. But
no, I think, well, that was also something that I was wanting to do, and is to start actually giving people some suggestions on, you can use any model. That's great. But whether it's local or you're using Open Router, what are recommended things to use? Like, you can use whatever you want, but if you at least have a starting place, that would be helpful.
Yeah, I think so. It'd be good to recommend image model. There's a model, I'm sure you've seen this. Maybe you don't have it. I don't know how you have it configured, but like when it generates like a smaller conversation title for your conversation, yours might not have been set up because I was seeing it didn't look like it was working for you. But like small models,
maybe not on this one. I think it was, but yeah, I was using a very small model for that.
Yeah, super small models. So like that's something you can run on your CPU even, and I'm sure it would be pretty performant.
Title model, I was using a Gemma 4 31B free.
There you go.
So
free is good.
Free is good. The vision model, Gemini 3.1 flashlight image. Because I want it to be quick.
Yeah.
Maybe that was it. Maybe that's why my browser was a little slower. It wasn't GLM, but it was the vision model. Because the vision model is what's being used for the browser, right?
Mostly not. Every once in a while, if it can't figure out what it needs from reading the page, it'll take a screenshot and then describe the screenshot with the vision model.
So it's just looking like the HTML and the DOM.
For the browser tools, it's doing some advanced. It's not really looking at the DOM. No, not at all. I can get into it in very deep details.
Okay, we need to do a separate discussion on that.
Because I have a lot to say about how cool I think I am for building it. I'm not going to lie. So I could go on and on.
Let's do that as a separate thing. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Good topic. We'll add it.
I could like demo it or like talk it through the details. Yeah.
Well, I think we've exhausted the topics. I've now got low blood sugar. So my brain is running on fumes.
All right.
But I think the other thing was we are each going to try and put out some different assets. So I'll make a couple videos.
Okay.
I did do that weekly update post. I like the idea of doing a weekly update, both what you're generating and then turning it into a blog post, and then also using that to communicate with people, let them know what's going on and new stuff. So that kind of counts, but it's not going to count for long because that is like a couple of different pieces.
Are you cool with the video? Or should we talk about this on the recording or not? But if you have a preference for video formats, let me know. I've been using that tool that like captures them videos from the browser tab. Do you prefer audio?
What video tool are you using?
Cursorful. It's like a free version of it. It's like captures, basically takes a screenshot of your tab, but like it has the feature where like if you click in, it can like follow your zoom into where you click.
I mean, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I want to share that with me. I don't think I've used it.
Okay.
I don't think it really matters. I created a channel and I added you to it.
I saw that.
This will be on there. And then when I just wanted to make a few videos for the docs.
Yeah, for sure.
It shows you how to do stuff. It just makes it easier for people.
That's going to be amazing.
And then like I was telling you about the other day about how I found that option trading open source tool that guy made. And I just had Omnideck download it, check it out, and open it up in the browser in Omnideck. Play around with it.
That's pretty cool, right?
Handy. That was pretty handy. So I think we can do some like little demos like that to kind of open up people's eyes to what you can do.
Yeah. I'm going to start a series called Wild Ass Wednesdays.
Ooh, that is fantastic. You absolutely need to do that.
Or I just try and think of the craziest thing I can get it to do. Let's just see what happens.
So you need to do that, and you need to make like 3 or 4 at a time, and then have every Wednesday they'll be just scheduled.
Yep.
No, dude, that's great.
Well, that's Wednesdays.
I love it.
Okay.
You get bonus points for that.
Good. Excellent. I like it.
Okay, buddy.
Cool, man. All right.
I'll talk to you later, man.
All right. Good chat. See ya. Bye.